Well, hello and welcome to Over the Vast Nurseries. It's a rather breezy afternoon in late summer, but now with the cooling temperatures and shorter days, we know that fall is just around the corner. And since we're spending more time at home, I think it's good that we think about our fall displays and how we can brighten up things on our patios, decks, or even just by the front door. And if you're like me and you're getting a little tired of straw bales and pumpkins and mums, you know, the standard thing that everybody does, and you'd like to do something a little different, let me show you a few ideas that I've put together using some of the plants that we grow here on the nurseries. Now, I suppose most of us have our own way of going about things, but I like to, when I'm deciding on which combinations I'm going to use, to go around the garden centre and kind of scout to see what's looking there, and then look to see what might work together as a possible combination. And it's amazing how when you put the plants together, how little combinations of colour and texture will all fit together to give you ideas as to how it's going to work in the final plant combinations. Now, of course, there's all sorts of things you can do. You could go out to the garden centre and just buy a few plants, ones that you like, and you could arrange them by the front door and really make a very nice display out of that. This is probably the simplest and easiest thing to do. You just go out to the garden centre, you make a selection of the things that are really catching your eye, a combination of colourful, textural things, and also seasonal colours too, if you feel like that, and then just bring them home and set them down in little groups, with the taller ones at the back and the smaller ones to the front. But one of the things I would like to suggest is that you get yourself some good big sized containers like these, and then plant a combination there. Perhaps use a combination of perennials, shrubs and grasses, and then at the end of your display period you can take them, they're hardy plants, and you can plant them out in your garden somewhere, and of course enjoy them then for many years to come. It's really quite amazing how just a few plants help to brighten and cheer things up. Now, what I'd like to do would be to show you how you can take some of those plants and build a combination inside a container. The neat thing about that, of course, is that you're making a complete plant combination, and because it's portable, you can move it around throughout your area as well. The first thing to do is to choose a good large size container. The more volume you have within reason, the more soil volume you have, the less watering you'll have to do, and of course the more impressive the display will be. As for the material, it really doesn't matter. This particular one I have here is a fiberglass one. That's neat because it's nice and light, and therefore it's easier to move when it's got the plants in it, but also it's frost proof, and this is one that I've been using now for many years, so it has served its function very well. It looks quite new right now because I've been and sprayed the whole outside of it here. That's why it looks quite new. But in reality, when I show you the inside of it here, you'll see that it has been well and truly well used. You'll also see that right in the bottom here, there's plenty of drainage holes. Good drainage in pots and containers is very important. And if you feel like in your pots that you don't have enough drainage, there's no harm at all in going out there and drilling a few extra holes just to make sure that you're taking care of the drainage. Now, with drainage in mind, it's important that you get some rocks or gravel and you put them in the bottom of the container. Just pour that in because that's the stuff that's going to ensure that you get good drainage. Then I'm using a planting compost here. I'm going to fill the container up about halfway with the planting compost. That should take me about 2 of these buckets. There, that's about half full now. and we're ready for the first of the plants that I'm going to do. I'm going to use a combination of 4 separate perennials. And for my first plant, I'm going to use this wonderful Pennisetum or fountain grass. This is one of the new varieties that we featured in one of our videos a few weeks ago. This is Pennisetum Ginger Love, a really gorgeous variety, and the trick with this is to turn it upside down and just gently, you'll find that the pot, if you tap it, will come away, and there's the beautiful root system, and you're able to put this right in there. I'm going to cheat it back into the corner of the pot, and as you see, the level inside the pot is just underneath the level or the lip of the pot. Now this is what I call the anchor plant, the first plant that goes in. This is the main one, and as you see, it has this beautiful kind of flowing habit. Now put a little bit of planting compost before you put the other plants in. Put a little bit of compost around the back. You'll find it's a little easier if you put it around the back of the plant before the other plants go in. Then the second plant that I have is this beautiful Coral Bells. This is from Proven Winners. This is a variety called Wild Rose. And again, if you just gently tap the pot, you'll find that it comes out again, a beautiful root system on here. And this one goes into the back corner like so. So you see that it's beginning to build a combination here of this flowing habit, this kind of rounded habit of the Coral Bells, and of course there's beautiful purple leaves. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to put in this beautiful, also from Proven Winners. This is a very nice Heliopsis. It's called Tuscan Gold, and this will provide a nice bit of color right here at the front, and that will go in like so. And then, just like before, put some compost in round both of these plants. Make sure that they've got lots of compost, that all the little nooks and crannies are all covered up, and that'll go in around the side of them. Just take your time and put the compost in between each of them. Poke it down with your fingers and make sure that you've really got plenty of compost in there. And then the final thing is to put in the last plant, which is this Creeping Jenny, this golden Creeping Jenny, Lysimachia. Now this is a plant that normally likes to grow in shadier conditions, but at this time of year when the sun isn't as intensive, you can use this as a spiller to fill out over the front of the pot and just complete the combination. And like before, the last thing to do is to just fill in all the spaces in between the plants with compost. And as always, the last thing to do is to give it a good watering. Just make sure that you get water in to the base of each of the 4 plants. Give it a real good watering, because that will help to settle the compost in round the roots of each of the 4 plants. So there you are. You have a combination of 3 different perennials and this beautiful grass, all coming together to give you light and airy texture, colorful leaves, beautiful textural weeping habit, and of course flowers too. And then let me show you this very nice combination, this time using a dwarf variegated shrub. This is Weigela Maimonet with its beautiful variegated foliage and rounded compact habit. Look over to its left or right and you see this fantastic variety of Agastache, or sometimes called Agastache. This is Rosy Posy, a variety that I'm personally very fond of because it's short and compact and very free flowering, literally packed with masses of flowers all through the summer going into the fall that are irresistible to pollinating insects, butterflies and hummingbirds too. Tubular flowers that they love to come and visit. And then look at the fantastic foliage on this astilbe. This is astilbe chocolate shogun. Dark purple, almost black foliage that's heavily textured, provides a beautiful base to show off the light and airy flowers of my anchor plant, which is this Pennisetum Carly rose. So light and airy, gently moving in the breeze, rising up above the other combinations of flowers and foliage and variegated rounded habit. This is a combination that I think you'll be able to use in lots of places around your home. And then if your color palette leans towards lemons and blues, take a look at this nice combination which uses the bright lemon dainty little flowers of Coreopsis moonbeam to contrast so beautifully with the dark royal blue of this beautiful gentian. This is Gentiana True Blue, raised by Darrell Probst up in Massachusetts. And then to carry on the daintiness, I put this plant in of Pervoschia Lacy Blue with its beautiful purplish blue flowers that contrast so nicely with the anchor plant, which is this Miscanthus bandwidth. This, as you probably know, is one of the brand new non-invasive Miscanthus that is short and compact with this beautiful lemon yellow and green variegated foliage, all coming together, I think, to make a very fetching combination that is both colorful and also nicely textured with its light and airy plants and these gorgeous dark royal blue flowers. And if your tastes lean towards a more traditional autumnal theme, then take a look at this combination, which is using the same grass as before. This is Pennisetum Carly rose with its beautiful kind of soft, pinkish, airy and light textural finish, but this time combining it with a beautiful little variegated grass that's nice and vigorous and evergreen. This is Carrick's Feather Falls. And the key plant in here, I think, is this beautiful dwarf variegated form of Abelia. This is Abelia kaleidoscope. And then the eye catcher in this combination is this Heliopsis burning hearts with its bright rusty red center to each of the flowers, coming together again to make a really beautiful eye-catching and easy to put together combination. So as you see, as well as using your pumpkins and straw bales and mums, you can also kick things up a bit by using some of these unusual combinations too. And then at the end of it, when you're finished, you've still got perennials and shrubs and grasses that you can plant out in your own garden and enjoy them for years. This is David Wilson. Enjoy your gardening. It's good for us, and it's very good for our environment too.